Hello, everyone. This is Defense Politics Asia and major news, major development. For now, I would say that take this with a pinch of salt. Is you can put it as a rumor, but there seems to be a massive buildup of 80,000 troops by the internationally recognized Yemen to launch a major offensive against the Houthis on the city of Hodeidah. So Hodeidah is a port city in Yemen. So so I was first alerted to this from a message from his history legend telling me about this post by Austin Defender. And so if you look at where is Hodeidah, it's basically El Hodeidah. Basically, this is the major port by the Red Sea. So it looks like the Americans are backing the Yemeni government or the internationally recognized Yemeni government to basically take over the entire coastline to protect the Red Sea. It looks like that is the main objective by the look of it. So according this information come exclusively from Dr. Abdulaziz Sagar, which is the chairman of the Gulf Research Center based in Saudi Arabia. So I checked with ChatGPT regarding the credibility of Gulf Research Center. It looks like it's a credible organization. And but ultimately, I would still say this is a rumor for now, but it looks very plausible. Remember, I mentioned before. I'm not sure if you saw the reports I do, but I mentioned before that there is this buildup of American troops over in the Middle East. A lot of stuff is flown into the Middle East, particularly from Europe, and there is also this intensifying airstrikes on the Houthis by the American carrier groups. And even up to now, I think the airstrikes are still happening. And the airstrikes is now from the Americans is now joined by Israeli Air Force as well. I think the Israelis might be joining in the operations, might, or maybe I confused that news with the airstrike on Gaza. But anyway, the Americans are taking the lead for this thing. So the airstrike is happening, and the airstrike might be the one that is actually softening the Houthi rebels or Houthi forces or Houthi government, and whatever you want. Some recognize the Houthis as a legitimate one, but the airstrikes is now softening up the Houthi forces. Clearly, it will by pure airstrikes. They are not going to be eliminated. So that's why I always say, I've said this 2 years ago or maybe 1 year ago. I can't remember. They say that the Houthis are asking for a land invasion, and yeah, if this came true, then I told you so, right? I told you so. I told you that they are asking for a land invasion, and maybe this is what is going to happen. But of course, like I say, I'm not going to jump into conclusion just immediately. I'm just going to say that this is just a rumor. But no, according to Dr. Sagar, he said that to his best knowledge, there's a preparation of almost 80,000 soldiers. So to his best knowledge, there's a preparation of almost 80,000 soldiers from the legitimate Yemeni government from different locations in order to take over Hodeidah. So 80,000 soldiers would represent a majority of all non-Houthis forces in Yemen and will constitute the largest offensive of the Civil War. And it will also set the stage for assault on the capital city of Sana'a, which is currently under Houthi control since 2014. So according to the Emirati state national newspaper, The National, the renewed airstrike on the Houthis generally and in particular on Hodeidah had helped pave the way for the upcoming assault. So indicating that the strike has killed several key Houthis. And I think it's also something that I heard of those on Twitter. I saw that several key leaders has been taken out. So Hodeidah is one of the Yemen's key port and is a major source of food import before the war. So Sagar pointed to the meeting between the U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, Commander General Michael Eric Kurela, and the Chief of Staff of the Yemeni Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Segir Hamoud Ahmed Aziz in Saudi Arabia last week. So there's a meeting there, And Kurila also visited several Middle Eastern countries in the first week of April, including Israel, Jordan, Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. So, it looks like he said that U.S. will be providing air cover and drone surveillance to the Yemeni government forces. So Seger concluded that we might be at the stage of the counting down of the end of the Houthis. So he said that they had every chance for a political discussion and be part of a government that would save Yemen from all this suffering. However, I remember reading from another article, he said that however they chose power. That's what it is. So the rest of the article is just history. So I would say that this is very likely by the look of it, and also the rumors of the transfer of patriots. So just in case Hodeidah is here. For those Hodeidah is here. For those that didn't see it, is here. So the rumors of the transfer of Patriot systems from Europe to Middle East makes sense, because that would prevent drone strikes, particularly coming from the Houthis against the Saudi oil fields and oil refinery facilities. That's possible, and also to prevent Iran from aiding to join the war or whatnot. So at least eliminating an entire threat coming from the air. And with air supremacy, then operations is going to be more smooth. Of course, it remains to be seen how good the Yemeni recognized government troops going to be, because it's not like that this is the first time they fight. Previously the Saudis have been involved and they failed pretty badly. So not sure if they are better trained this time around. And I got a feeling that the Americans is not going to just operate from the air. I'm quite sure that there will be special forces involved, like that maybe Green Berets, whatnot. Not sure. My feeling is that the Americans will get involved on the ground. This is my feeling right now, that they will get involved on the ground. But for now, they will probably take a wait and see attitude to see whether the Yemeni government can actually win the war on their own. Because it's very important, I think from Trump's perspective, Trump is not part of the deep state. The deep state would want to puppet the entire government. But I think Trump's perspective is more like, they want the governments to be independent, to be able to rule themselves. And so they have to fight and win their own sovereignty back. So the ideal situation would be for this Yemeni internationally recognized government to win the war themselves with the help of the American Air Force, and then they rule themselves without the Americans going in. So once you have ground forces going in, then things get complicated. So, but let's see. So like I said, the ground invasion they are always it's basically coming all the time. It's always going to come. It's just a matter of who dares to go to war. And apparently I forgot about the Yemeni government. I forgot about the Yemeni international recognized government forces, because I kind of disregarded them as too weak, because like I said, the Saudis aided them and then they still didn't manage to win. So but who knows, things might change this time around. And the fact that they actually the general actually visited these many countries, Israel, Jordan, Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, I wonder if there will be a collision force of at least collision air force involved. That means we're going to see Jordan Air Force, Qatar Air Force, UAE Air Force, and Saudi Air Force involved in the military operation. I wonder if that's the case. So, and I wonder if the Israeli might want to send in ground forces. That might also be a possibility, because the Israeli have been wanting to revenge against the Houthis. So, that could also be a possibility. But anyway, like I said, all this is still speculation. This is just a rumor for now. But a lot of indications seems to suggest that this seems to be coming because of the American redeployment of forces that was identified by the open source intelligence. So that's it. Hopefully, the civilians don't die, or minimal collaterals. But war is war. No people die. Unfortunately, that seems to be the case. And this is also why, I'm not supportive of Houthis, trying to get involved with the Palestinian issue, because they are asking for war. And once war comes, people suffer. And civilians is going to die. You're going to get hungry. Like, Yemen used to have one of the worst humanitarian crises. I'm not sure if the crisis is still ongoing, but it's probably coming if the war breaks out. So anyway, once the war breaks out, I will of course monitor it and let you guys know. I'll try to report it as much as I can. Hopefully it don't get too boring and too drag out like the Sudan one, and then I will lose interest. And of course, many of you guys will lose interest because things get too boring. Then, yeah, nobody want to watch. So let's see how this goes. So anyway, thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. If you want to keep track of, you want me to keep track of the Yemen stuff and want me to report on it, let me know in the comment. Support me, subscribe, liking helps to let me know your interest. And I'll see you guys in the next update.